We have 6 teams on a bye this week, but it doesn't matter. There are still games that you need to win. We are 3 weeks away from the start of the fantasy football season, and you have decisions you need to make in your flex or at your wide receiver 3 position. So on today's episode of the Progression to the Mean podcast, we have the top 50 wide receivers here in week 12 of fantasy football. We titled this the only wide receiver rankings that will matter. Might be a little presumptuous, but hey, man, we're trying to put the best content out here for the people. I'm your host, Sean Moran. I'm joined by my good friend, my fellow knower of ball, my fellow co-host, Aiden Haller. Aiden, man, we just wrapped up running backs. Much more excited to talk receivers. How are you doing?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing well. Yeah, and by the way, Keegan is still with us, guys. Keegan is moving today, so
yes, he's moving.
Send Keegan
cross country.
He's
cross country move. Cross country move.
Yeah, we're all California guys. He is off to Greensboro.
Is it South? Is that South or North
South
Carolina?
Okay,
South
Keegan
Carolina.
is off to South Carolina. He'll be a Gamecock soon. So yeah, Keegan is moving. Send him good vibes. But I'm doing well, Sean. It's Friday. Lovely afternoon here in San Diego. It's like 70 degrees and sunny. So like the vibes are always good, man.
Yeah, the weather's perfect out in Orange County, California. We are soft out here watching Jameis Winston do backflips in the snow.
Winter, man. Winter's kicking our ass.
What a snow game. We're recording this Friday. This is after Thursday Night Football. That was some of the best Thursday Night Football I've ever watched. I mean, my God, that was such a good game.
That was
like
so
cinema.
sick.
Cinema, man.
I don't think I've ever seen a Hail Mary in the snow. Like once I realized that was in play, I'm like, this is going to be cool. And then you got George Pickens fighting mid-play.
Greg Newsome.
Instead of trying to catch
I love
the ball, man.
After the game, man, he said, they're not that good. They got lucky, and the refs suck. I was like, I love that George Pickens just has zero media training. Like zero.
Dude. He has so many screws loose. It's so cool. It's at least once a week. He just goes like full freak out, but guy's an animal on the field. So, yeah, great game. Watching Jameis Winston just like it's like a warm fuzzy feeling watching Jameis play good football because then you get the pressers after, and it's like the whole experience is like really heartwarming. So that was an awesome game all around.
But don't worry, the Titans need to see if Will Levis is any good. Like, how is Jameis Winston not like we got 6 years of Daniel Jones. No disrespect.
Yeah, why are we still blacklisting Jameis? He's one of the best 32 QBs in the NFL.
Of course he is.
Without a doubt.
And look, he sat behind Drew Brees for 2 years and Sean Payton. That clearly worked, right? He learned some stuff. Like he's got a cannon. He's athletic. He's like 6'6". Like
his teammates love him.
What are we doing out here, man?
Like a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah, he's I think better than a backup quarterback. Would I give Jameis Winston $50 million? I don't know, but like, hey, look, Baker's out here as a resurrected number 1 pick, playing his ass off. I think Jameis Winston can easily do that, easily. But we'll get off our Jameis grandstand here because we have 50 wide receivers to talk through on today's episode. So if you are new to our rankings, it's pretty straightforward. I've ranked the top 50. Aiden's gone ahead and he's broken them into what do we got? 6 tiers today, or do you do 5?
I think we've got 5. Let me double check for you. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiers.
We got 6 tiers. Got 6 tiers. My rankings are a combination of a multitude of different factors. I take a look at implied team total rank from Vegas Sportsbooks. I take a look at expert consensus rankings over at Fantasy Pros to see where my rankings match up against theirs. I take a look at fantasy point production over the past month, along with expected fantasy points per game, which is usage. I also want to see who they're playing. Where do their opponents rank up in terms of fantasy points per game to wide receivers? From there, I try and build out a projection. And I also have something called an RTM score, which essentially just weights the best possible matchups for the week for the position. It's good stuff. But again, I'm sure some people, they've already watched this. They already know this. We might have some new people, though, Aiden, that have joined. If you are new to our channel, Aiden, what should those people do? What should they expect for today's episode?
Welcome to the show. Good to have you. Yeah, welcome to the Mean Team. We keep it pretty light here. Our rankings are pretty simple, too. We've got 6 tiers here. We've got a couple of different data points that Sean's kind of, morphed into a model of sorts to help us determine who do we like, who are we fading against ECR, why do we like it, why do we hate it, etc. So, yeah, we've got the tiers. We touched on a couple of guys in each tier. We're not going to go through everyone, but we end up touching on most of them. In the description, we've got the link to our What'd you say?
You pause, bro. You said we end up touching on most of
I just kept going, man. That was just natural. No, we're not. We're not literally touching anyone, but we'll be talking about them. And yeah, check out the description. We've got the timestamps. We've got the link. Yeah, hang around. We're just gonna be vibing. Like, comment, subscribe. All this is possible with you and the mean team. So we do it for you guys. It's grind time. It's week 12. We are all desperately trying to stack together another win or two to solidify our playoff chances. So hang around. Let us know what you think.
I'm so pumped. Week 12 through 14, man. It's the week like 7 to 11 is just the meat grinder, bro. That month of the middle of the season is so foul with buys, injuries. It just feels hopeless. And then you realize everyone has the same record. Everyone has the same record. Your guys are getting healthy. Bye weeks are getting knocked off for the most part. Your team's starting to turn the corner, right? So this is a good time for the fantasy football slate. We're going to start things off here with tier 1, wide receivers 1 through 5. You know the names. No surprises here. We've got wide receiver 1, Justin Jefferson, 2, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 3, A.J. Brown, 4, Cooper Kupp, and 5, Tyreek Hill. So Justin Jefferson, this is a tough matchup against the Bears secondary. This is surrendering the second fewest points per game to fantasy wide receivers. Bears defense is actually kind of an interesting streamer against a turnover happy Sam Darnold. However, it's Justin Jefferson. I'm not overthinking it. Yeah, I won't do it. Refuse to do it. So he's my wide receiver 1 this week. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's a TD machine in the best offense in the NFL. Those are good things. He's dunking on efficiency. Top 4 production, top 33 usage. He's got basically wide receiver 3 usage.
He's a touchdown machine this year. I think
he's been amazing.
He's on a fat streak too. I think it's some like 8 weeks in a row that he's scored a touchdown. 1, 2, 3.
I don't think it stops this week against Indy.
Yeah,
I don't think it stops this week against Indy.
No, I don't think so either.
You can make a strong case that A.J. Brown is the wide receiver 1 this week.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually.
Devontae is out. And we know that when Devontae's out, A.J. Brown just goes banana. Like the splits are crazy when Devontae doesn't play. The Rams have a pretty good run defense, but you can throw on them. My only thing, though, is the Eagles' pass rate has just been way down. They've just been running the piss out of the ball. They have an identity. It's Saquon Barkley and a really good defense. The Rams offense, we're going to talk about them. I think they can score on the Eagles. Like, sure, the Eagles corners are playing well, but Cooper DeJean hasn't seen Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua in a game yet, and a quarterback like Matthew Stafford. So I'm not saying like
Brandon Allen confirmed starting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Brandon Allen is going to be starting for the Niners. You heard my thoughts on that in the running back episode that we just recorded. We'll get to that in a second then.
But I agree, though. Sorry to steamroll your thoughts about the Rams wide receivers. That offense is really good when they're healthy. With Puka, Cooper Kupp, Kyron, Stafford, that's a really good offense. So, like you said, not too worried about either one of those guys. McVay schemes them up such good looks. So, super excited. You mentioned JJ too. Like, I'm really not all that worried about him against the Bears too. Especially given that Jalen Johnson doesn't do the shadow coverage. Like, he's not going to follow him around the field. So, if it's Stevenson, Terrell Smith, Kyler Gordon, I think he's still going to eat. Jordan Love threw for over 250 yards last week, so wouldn't be too worried there. But, yeah, these are the big dogs. I do think we're close to a Tyreek, 80-yarder soon. We haven't had one since week 1. He has scored in consecutive weeks, which is encouraging, as someone who drafted him in the first round. Good to see him start actually contributing to your fantasy team again. So I'm ready for the Tyreek blow up spot. I haven't checked if I'm playing him anywhere, but those are just good. I love watching Scott Hansen lose his shit and call a Tyreek Hill 80-yard touchdown. So hopefully we go in this week.
I totally agree. I think this is a blow-up spot opportunity for the entire Dolphins offense. Jalen Waddle, Devin A. for sure. I just think it's a good spot. I do think the Jonnu Smith narrative has been cute, but I think we know where the bread's buttered for the Dolphins, and I think this could be an explosive day for their passing game. And then Cooper Kupp has been the wide receiver one in usage and production in all the games he's played in this year. So if you take the random weeks he's been in, he's been the clear-cut top guy at the wide receiver position. Again, Eagles defense has been good. I still feel really good about Cooper Kupp. One of my favorite plays this week.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Tier 2, and I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped because the name of the rankings this week was how high can I get Jaxson, Smith-Njigba? Like that was the name of the game. So I've got wide receivers 6 through 14 here in Tier 2. At 6, I've got Jaxson, Smith-Njigba. 7, Nico Collins. 8, Puka Nacua. 9, Lad McConkey. This is a Lad McConkey tier disguised as a JSN tier. Disguised as a Jauan Jennings tier because I've got Jauan Jennings at 10, Terry McLaurin at 11, Malik Nabers 12, DK Metcalf 13, CeeDee Lamb 14. So Jaxson, Smith-Njigba, it's really hard to find a better wide receiver than JSN over the past month. Jamar Chase.
That's pretty much
Amon-Ra, St. Brown, maybe.
Who's 2 over that time? It's someone on bye.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I think the number 2 in usage and points over the past month are T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, technically, but T. Higgins has only played 1 game, so like I wouldn't read too much into that. But like, dude, JSN has been amazing. Top 3 production, top 5 usage. He gets an Arizona defense that is about middle of the pack against wide receivers. His projection is pretty bonkers for this week. Man, I really like JSN. I think he's one of the best plays on the slate. When you see the correlation between RTM score and projection, it's a very good play, in my opinion. Nico Collins, limited snaps in his return, gets a huge 77-yard touchdown wiped on a pretty ticky-tack.
That sucked.
Lineman down the field call.
For sure downfield, but that sucked.
Yeah, he was downfield, but it was a little ticky-tacky. Like, come on, let him play. I bet you that play happens like 10 times a game in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Tough matchup against Tennessee. Tennessee's got a good defense. So we'll see, but it's Nico Collins. If he gets his full complement of snaps, I'm not that worried about the matchup, all things considered. Puka Nacua is a beast. He's a beast. Kupp remains our wide receiver 1 so far in terms of usage and production, but Puka's a beast, man. He looks so good. It's kind of a shame that he missed half the year because he'd just be doing his Puka thing for the whole year. He's going to be one of my favorite picks in all of fantasy next year if all things remain the same. Yeah. Lad McConkey, dude.
Beast.
Do we just toot our horn now? Can we toot our horn now? We were so in.
So hard. We were ladding obnoxiously hard.
We were huge Lad McConkey guys, like all the way back to Senior Bowl. I remember I've got videos of me talking about Lad McConkey and how much I loved him. And that this isn't a slot receiver. This is a guy that dunks. And when he got drafted to the Chargers, you were like, this is perfect. You were so excited with his partnership with Justin Herbert.
Yep.
And, I have no redraft shares. None.
Same. No, I'd missed out. But if you guys follow Matt Harmon with reception perception, the numbers are incredible. The guy is like
just getting open.
Like we thought in college, like Jordan didn't pass that much. Like the volume doesn't really matter here, even though he's really good at everything. And guess what he's doing at the NFL level? He's really fucking good at everything. So, Lad, man, we were right about you, Lad. You are the clear-cut one there, like we said, and you were absolutely dominating lately as that passing attack seems to make strides every single week. So, I don't see it slowing down. Yeah, that is the worst passing defense in football. With the Baltimore Ravens, look what Jamar Chase just did the other week, blanket on who they played last week. But yeah, it's
the Steelers. The Steelers didn't have a huge blow-up spot. The Steelers kicked 6 field goals.
Their offense sucks, so they don't count. They have like the second least touchdowns in football. I think Lad goes crazy this week.
Great spot for Lad McConkey. Great spot for Jauan Jennings. He's been the wide receiver 1 when he's played. Top 6 production, top 7 usage over the past month. Dude's like walking into 100 yards pretty much every game he's played over the past month.
Yeah, he's just good.
A little nervous about Brandon Allen. I think this is going to be a check down game, but we'll see. It's hard to say for certain. Quarterbacks have come in and looked really good in Kyle Shanahan's offense. So we'll see. Jauan Jennings gets a surprising amount of his usage on like 3rd and long. So if they're not converting 3rd and long, could be a rough day for Jauan Jennings, but you're starting him. Don't overthink it.
Yep.
Terry McLaurin at 11, strong bounce back candidate against Dallas. Malik Nabers was a scratch. Do we have word on Malik Nabers with a groin injury on Friday? Has anyone came out and said?
I haven't seen anything myself. I know you mentioned he popped up late, but no reports that I have seen. I don't know. He tended.
Jordan Ronan, a reporter for the Giants. Malik Nabers told him point blank he expects to play this weekend.
Cool. He's playing.
Tommy Cutlets takes a lot of sacks. I have no idea if he's going to be able to get the ball downfield, but Nabers is this is a really good spot. Tampa Bay's gotten absolutely throttled by wide receivers. And Jones has been seeing ghosts since Andrew Thomas got hurt. So the quarterback change is a concern, but it could be an upgrade. There's a little bit of volatility to upside. I'm willing to be a little excited about Nabers this week, but we shall see. If for some reason Tommy Cutlets gets benched in game and it's Drew Lock, he's going to be throwing lasers downfield to Malik Nabers.
It's going to be awesome.
He might throw 3 to the other team.
Why is it not Drew Lock?
I think they're trying to lose, and I think the fans really like DeVito.
Yeah,
so
it's a bunch of New York Italians.
The fans love DeVito. So throw DeVito out there, and if DeVito sucks for a game, then you just go to Lock. It's honestly kind of smart.
It should be Lock. Drew Lock is so much better.
It's honestly just gaslighting the
I
fans.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf, the wide receiver 2 in Seattle?
I think so.
This would be my hero origin moment if JSN became the wide receiver 1. Yeah, it would be intolerable if he became the wide receiver.
He looks like it right now. I didn't watch much of that. How did DK look? Like, I know he's still coming off the knee. Like, I can't imagine DK's 100%.
Every time they threw to DK Metcalf, it felt risky and it felt really explosive. But it felt like 50-50 this actually gets completed. Every time they threw to JSN, I was like, like he's open. Like he's getting these first downs. Like it's so automatic with JSN.
Yeah, his separation's awesome.
Dude, JSN is I hate him, he's a Seahawk, but man. JSN's another guy I absolutely loved coming out of college. And his rookie season was confounding. The start to this season was so frustrating.
Fraudulent
plus they were so pot committed to DK Metcalf being just this absolute AJ Brown level alpha. He's not. Now he's good. He's a really good player, but your offense might be better if you get JSN more involved as these
especially
targets.
Downfield. He's finally the ADOT is rising. He's good. He's good downfield. Like he's not just a screen guy. He's not just a slant guy. Like, dude, he's so good.
Well, we saw it last year. He had that game-winning touchdown against the Eagles where Drew Lock threw that laser at home down the field, and it was just an absolute snag. It's like, where is this? That was an unreal big boy route touchdown down the field. Like that was a Tyler Lockett touchdown.
Yeah.
And also Tyler Lockett is completely iced from this offense. It is.
Thank God.
JSN has alpha.
God.
This is everything. If you're a JSN bag holder and believer, it's the Grim Reaper meme, right? Where it's like, boom, take out Kenneth Walker's targets. Boom, take out Tyler Lockett. And now he's got one guy left, one door, and it's DK Metcalf.
But as long as we're getting 10 targets a game, I don't care who he's taking them from. Just give me 10 a game.
But if he becomes the alpha in this offense, in a high pass rate offense with a so-so defense, he is one of the better picks in all of fantasy in the 9th round,
especially down the stretch here. Yeah,
man, the thesis. He's slowly replacing
he was, a 5th, 6th round pick. I'm trying to think where I got him.
No, he was 9th round, dude.
Was it that far? I thought I got him a little earlier.
Nah, man, he's replacing the Rashee Rice size hole in my heart. JSN. So we'll see. We'll see if he can fill it.
That's a big hole.
It is. But I had Rashee in 4 leagues and I had JSN in 4 leagues. So they were 2 of my biggest bets in all of fantasy. So we shall see. I had a team with both of them. Would have been nice. Okay. CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 14. He's going to play this week. I don't think he's going to score touchdowns with Cooper Rush, but he's going to see a shit ton of targets. So you're going to keep playing him.
It's just hard to get excited about him right now. We talked about Rico Dowdle for the same reason. It's like Cooper Rush is such a like a cap to that offense in terms of like how good they can be.
Man, and I am now realizing that I have not been screen sharing for the first three tiers.
We've just been vibing.
I'll have to add these in post, but it'll be fine. All right, wide receiver tier 3 here. Wide receivers 15 to 23. I've got Zay Flowers, wide receiver 15, George Pickens 16, Mike Evans 17, Josh Downs 18, Marvin Harrison 19, Courtland Sutton 20, Calvin Ridley 21, Jameson Williams 22, and Deebo Samuel 23. So Zay Flowers, just don't bet on him in any parlays, and he's going to have a career week. Just don't put any coin on him, and Zay Flowers is going to eat. All jokes aside, though, he's probably going to do pretty well against this Chargers secondary that just got toasted by the Bengals offense. I feel pretty good about Zay Flowers this week. George Pickens was a great spot for him outside of the weather. The game was played last night. Could have been a huge game if they weren't in a torrential downpour of snow. Overall, though, I think Pickens played well. He like missed a touchdown, like had a touchdown in the end zone. I just don't think he saw it because of the snow. So what are you going to do? 1K Mike Evans is back. I'm very curious to know how much they force feed him, what that looks like. The division is very much in play for them. They kind of have to go on a run here, post-bye. I don't know. I feel like Mike Evans is a risky play, but pretty high upside based off the fact that Godwin isn't playing right now. Josh Downs playing up against a Detroit defense that has surrendered the 8th most fantasy points per game to wide receivers. Downs remains by far the number one wide receiver in this offense. Played pretty well even with A-Rich last week. A-Rich has now produced 2 of his best games on the season. I think this narrative that Anthony Richardson can't help hit Josh Downs' his ceiling is overblown. Maybe his floor isn't as good with A-Rich playing. I'll concede that. But Downs is a great matchup against Detroit this week. Top 12 production for Downs over the past month. Marvin Harrison, this is a good spot post-bye against the Seahawks. They're giving the 12th most fantasy points per game to wide receivers. I like Courtland Sutton this week, even though the Raiders are pretty good against wide receivers. They're more of a run funnel. Calvin Ridley quietly has been a top 12 wide receiver over the past month since D-Hop got traded. He's looking like a really sneaky good back-end player. We could have highlighted him as like a trade target almost. That one fell under the radar for us a bit. I think Ridley is played pretty well, all things considered. Good. And Levis actually looked kind of good last week. He was throwing lasers. He's still like Will Levis taking sacks and making mistakes, but his arm is Levis's arm is really good.
It's live.
He's just ripping throws. Jameson Williams is, I think, the fastest man on the planet. So if all he needs is one. And Deebo. Deebo has not played well this year. Big whiff for me preseason. He was one of my favorite players to target as a wide receiver.
Yeah, he started really well. Kind of.
I do think, though, with a backup quarterback in place, low ADOT, it could be a big low ADOT game. I'm really curious to know how the Niners play without Brock, because on paper, when you watch Brock, he's doing a lot of cool shit. He's scrambling around. He's making shit happen. He's throwing seeds on third down. But I do think he's kind of been off script this year or recently. And I'm curious to know, if you have a very on-script quarterback and a backup in Brandon Allen, what that translates to Deebo with like the timing and rhythm of this offense. I'm not out here saying like Brock's holding back these guys, but I'm not that surprised that Jauan Jennings is eating right now with Brock Purdy, and some of these more established low ADOT guys are struggling. So we'll see. I don't think it's Brock Purdy's fault that Deebo Samuel can't break tackles this year. So I don't know. Anything on this tier, Aiden? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if you touched on Marv. Excited to see his roll out of the bye. We mentioned it on the running back episode, but it's about a 50% chance of rain in Seattle this weekend. So hopefully that's pretty light and shouldn't affect him too much. And then excited for Josh Downs as well. So just want to touch on 2 young guys here. Josh Downs was pretty productive last week with Anthony Richardson. So I think it's been a pretty easy kind of like Twitter bit that Anthony Richardson is like the death of Josh Downs. But Josh Downs with another pretty soft matchup against Detroit this week. Pretty excited to see if him and A-Rich can kind of continue to pick up where they left off. So, really good to hear. Oh, quick one on Jameson, too. I forgot the stat I was looking at. the culture like bottom 5 in terms of allowing completions over 20 yards. So I would not be surprised. Yeah, I think J-Mo's going to take the lid off at least once this weekend. You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah, he's one of those like. He's like if Christian Watson was really good, like you might get 6, you may get 30. He's a fun guy to play, in my opinion.
I'd rather have J-Mo though, because the Lions' offense.
Oh yeah, way more. Well, J-Mo's better
right now.
J-Mo is like a top 15 pick.
He's a first round.
J-Mo, yeah.
Did he fall out of the first? I forget.
Christian Watson?
No, J-Mo, I forget.
J-Mo, they traded up to like the 15th overall pick coming off a torn ACL. Jameson Williams,
he was a freak at Alabama.
Yeah, come on.
Freak at Alabama.
Yeah, he's a better player.
Yeah.
All right, man. Tier 4 here. Wide receivers 24 to 35. I've got DeAndre Hopkins, Jerry Jeudy, Jakobi Meyers, Cedric Tillman, Quentin Johnston, Tank Dell, Jalen Waddle, Jaden Reed, Elijah Moore, DJ Moore, Romeo Dobbs, Roman Dunze. DeAndre Hopkins has had some very confusing usage, and Carolina is a run funnel. However, KC, top 3 implied team total rank. You know, you got to play Hopkins if you have him. I think he's a good play, even though the usage has been weird. Jerry Jeudy's the wide receiver 1 in Cleveland. I think that's pretty established. He's playing pretty good ball right now. Jakobi Meyers has the Surtain downgrade. So, I mean, you're probably like he's gonna walk into like 10 targets maybe, but he's playing Pat Surtain, so I don't.
Pretty brutal.
QJ remains an efficiency monster in a plus matchup. Tank Dell is just a wide receiver 3.
He's fine. He's 10 points set and forget. He just doesn't look as good. It's fine. I think you're gonna get a discount on him next year though.
I'm down.
I think you're gonna get a good discount on him next year, but it's just clear it's not. Like it doesn't look the same as last year. Last year he was like silky coming out of his routes. It's just like it's a bit more rigid, but it does still feel like he's trending up. Like it does look better now than it does.
It does.
And it did it in week 1. Like this is a guy that I would be surprised if he had like a monster fantasy playoffs. As he really like gets his legs back under him.
Jalen Waddle, I think this is a really good spot for Waddle.
Yes, I agree.
I'm starting him this week in a league. And he's just been such a disappointment. Sounds like someone's getting their car jacked in your neighborhood.
Yeah, do you hear that?
Yeah, I can.
That thing is ripping outside, bro.
So Jaden Reed, wide receiver 31 for me. As a Niner fan, if he gets wide receiver 81 usage, I'm going to be pretty happy. I don't know why he doesn't get the rock more.
It's a weird offense, and we kind of knew it. But I think it's even weirder than we expected. But I think a lot of that goes to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has been so good to where I don't think Jordan Love has like had to, like they haven't had to lean on Jordan Love as much this year with Josh Jacobs. Like Josh Jacobs has looked, as good or better than like Aaron Jones ever did in that offense. And that's like not taking anything away from Aaron Jones. He was amazing in Green Bay, but Josh Jacobs
is a workhorse.
He's phenomenal.
Aaron Jones is a really good player, but like, dude, Josh Jacobs is a workhorse.
Yeah, he's an absolute dog.
DJ Moore and Roma Dunze, both positive regression candidates.
I think we're shifting. Like, who's ahead in ECR? Yeah, we kind of anticipated this towards the latter part of the season. I'd be tempted to put a Dunze over Moore already, personally. You're seeing more usage. He's getting more targets. I think what's most exciting about a Dunze too is like his ADOT and like the routes he's getting are, they're just more advantageous. Like we're, a miss from an 80-yard touchdown last week. There's been multiple misses on like some of these deep balls where I think DJ is more of like your quick hitters, your safety valves. So we'll see. I think they're both good plays. You're not going to run on Minnesota. So I think both of these guys are good plays. Just like, let's just get rid of Keenan Allen and funnel it through these two guys. Like, these are the two wide receivers on offense that should be getting the bulk of the targets.
Yeah. Minnesota, you can toss it on Minnesota.
You definitely can.
All right, moving on to tier 5 here, wide receivers 36 through 42. I got Xavier Worthy, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jordan Addison, Keenan Allen, Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, and Noah Brown. Noah Brown. Xavier Worthy looked really good. They were going to him early and often, and then he did the thing again where he couldn't stay in bounds. And he
What's his
I,
deal?
I don't think he
Zero
saw the
awareness.
field. I don't think he saw the field after that happened. I know I was watching the
He had
game pretty
so much
closely.
room. He had
I
so
think they
much
pulled
room.
him. Yeah, I don't know, because there are these half the throws he messes up on these deep shots, and then also Pat doesn't. I don't. Maybe he's also not running the right place, but Pat is not thrown like these. He's missed him, or he's put it on like an area where like he's made it harder on Worthy. I don't know. Worthy's open though, and this offense needs an explosive element. What's funny is when they throw him the underneath shit, he's just nasty. Like the minute he gets touched, it's over. Like he does not break tackles, but when he gets put in the right spot and catches it, it's like it's just a way more souped up version of what they've had with like McCole Hardman. I think Worthy, what? How many touchdowns does Worthy have this year?
Like
7,
8, dude. I saw a stat. What is it? He has like the third most like touchdowns for wide receivers. What was it?
He's got 4 receiving touchdowns, and what? How many touchdowns does he have as a rusher?
Why can't I? Why?
And he has no 2 TD games. Let me see. He's got 4 receiving touchdowns, and he's got 2 rushing touchdowns. So he's got 6 TDs on the year.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Honestly, his yards per route run stuff sucks. Again, I've been grinding the Coach Speak Discord, and they're being very positive about Worthy. They're saying things like he's a rookie. It's hard to learn this offense. It's coming. It's going to get there. I do think, though, he needs to figure out this whole toe drag swag thing, because it's now happened in multiple back-to-back games where he can't haul in a deep pass down the sideline, and he doesn't play anymore. It's like a fumble for a running back. We're like, we don't trust you. We're going to get McCole Hardman in here because we know he's going to be in the right spot. So we'll see. I think it's a work in progress with Worthy. Carolina has been good against receivers this year, but I don't know, man. I honestly I know it's going to happen this year where he has a 3 touchdown game. You know it's going to happen. I don't know when, but he's eventually going to start hauling in these catches.
So they're going to figure out that deep ball eventually if it's the last thing they do.
Wandale, the scam is on with Tommy DeVito.
It might work.
It might work.
I'm debating fire him up in a league. With buys, I'm like, I might fucking fire him up.
I do worry Tommy DeVito is going to get sacked like 8 times.
That's fine. I just need like 5-6 catches for 12 yards or whatever he normally does.
Yeah, you'll get your scam Dale.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison, I'm a hater, but he looked pretty damn good last week. But this is a tough matchup. I don't think I'd want to play Jordan Addison this week. Keenan Allen.
It's just annoying.
Don't have much confidence in Keenan Allen at this point. I got the Carolina wide receivers here back to back. Xavier Leggett, Jalen Coker. Jalen Coker injured his quad.
Yeah, give me XL. Thielen's also back.
Coker top 40 usage over the last month. We'll see though. Coker's borderline droppable, but we'll see. He's shown promise as a rookie here. Noah Brown, Washington's got the second highest point total on the slate. I think he's a decent flex streamer against the Dallas defense. It's middle of the road against fantasy wide receivers. You can definitely throw on him a bit. So I like Noah Brown as a kind of a dart throw flex play.
Yeah, it's a sneaky play with 6 teams on by.
I think it's pretty sneaky. Anyone on this tier before we get out of here to the last tier?
No, I love XL. He's been like a guy in that passing attack. Like I'm starting him in a league. I think he's like by far and away my pass catcher that I'm bullish on in that offense. But yeah, that's kind of a scary tier. And then it gets even scarier with this next one.
Yeah, tier 6 here. We can go through it quickly. I got Kayshon Boutte, Jalen McMillan, Demario Douglas, Devon Bailey, Nick Westbrook, Akine, Darius Slayton, Demarcus Robinson, Alec Pierce, and Slick Rick, Ricky Pearsall. Kayshon Boutte is actually somebody that has really solid usage. Wide receiver 34 usage over the past month. So I don't know, man. Like he's getting the usage, he just hasn't hit home. But Miami's tough on receivers. I can't name a single cornerback on the Dolphins, and they're just tough on receivers. I don't know what's going on over there.
I don't know. Nope. Yeah, I got nothing.
Can you name it? I know they're Javon Hollins, their safety, who's really good, but I don't know their corners.
Yeah, let's see real fast.
Oh, Jalen Ramsey. Oh, doy. But like outside of Jalen Ramsey, well, Jalen Ramsey and Javon Hollins are pretty damn good secondary, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, not bad though.
Yeah.
We'll see. Just not a great matchup for him.
I don't think Pop Douglas is a very good play. Devon Bailey is fun, but I don't know if you can play him. Nick Westbrook-Akine has been a big play merchant. He's like an efficiency monster.
Got a 98-yard touchdown. That was a rope too, going back to Levis.
He was a rope.
Holy rope on the sideline.
When he actually uncorks him, he's got an arm, man. He's got that man has an NFL arm for sure.
For sure. It's not a brain.
Pocket awareness? I don't know about that, but definitely the arm. I don't know, man. Alec Pierce, TD or bust. Demarcus Robinson, TD or bust. Darius Slayton, don't think you can play him with the cutlets. And Ricky Pearsall's inconsistent usage. So I don't know, man.
The only guy that I would even have like minor confidence in here would probably be Pop.
You love Pop.
But I think he'll catch a couple. Like, I think a couple of these guys could completely fall on their face. You know what I mean? Like, Pearsall just went donut. I could see Akine going donut.
Vele and Pop are the two guys, I'd say.
Like, Vele will have a couple. But, yeah, the McMillan dream is dead. It never really came to fruition. But, like, you thought with everyone going down, he was going to step up. And
the purest of runouts. So. He had the purest of runouts, and he sucked.
As good as it gets. And it's like, maybe
Cade
just
Otton,
a wide receiver 3.
Cade Otton just took it and ran with it, man. Cade Otton and Rachaad White were like, mine. Yeah. My offense.
Yeah. Nice try, pal.
50 wide receivers, dude.
51.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy you're most 51? There it is. Who is the guy you're most excited to see play this week?
Who's the guy that I'm most excited to see play? I'll go with someone in the middle here. I'll go with Marv. I'm going to go with
Maserati. Okay.
One, because I own him in a league. But two, like we talk about the rookie bump post-buy, like it is a very real thing. It felt like we were already trending towards increased usage and just like smarter play calls for him going into the buy. And he's got a good matchup. So I'm excited to see what he does this week.
For me, JSN, Ladd. Those are the two, man.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I'm excited to watch.
It's our young bucks that we're excited to watch, which is that's why you do it. Our year 1 and year 2 guys.
And Cheetah. I'm always excited to see Cheetah lace it up, man. Always excited. All right, Aiden. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody else, for tuning in. Win your matchups.
Good luck.
All right, win them. And until next time.